you remember? I mean, the cross country scene was quite lively then. You were competing all over the country in the winter time at Cardiff and Liverpool, Edinburgh, all these places. Nottingham was a popular one as well. What was your favourite race of the domestic season?
I used to like Liverpool. That was always good. And Margate. Now, what was that one? That used to be the trials, didn't it, for the Europeans? I'm sure it was down in Margate. I used to think that was a tough one. The Southerns up in Parliament Hill. I like that course because it's so tough and it's long, and I've got some funny sort of memory. I lost my shoe in that one, and I ran round with one spike and then a sock. It was just like, but I kept going. Do you know what I mean? You're in that, right, I've got to keep going. I don't care. And it was so muddy. I like the tougher the better, I think.
Yeah, it's a classic cross-country course, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah, good stuff. So it wasn't all about the cross country. You were making some strides in the track as well. You got to the Commonwealth Games and the Europeans in 2002. Do you have any memories of those at all?
I do, yeah. I do have very lovely memories of those.
Good. And competing in Manchester in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, and it was chucking it down. The weather, I do remember that. And of course, Liz, we were 4th and 5th, I think. Yeah, 4th and 5th. I remember that one. And I remember the trial actually for that. That's a massive memory for me because I wanted to make the 5,000 and I just missed it, I think, because I came 3rd, but they were saving a place for Paula. So I missed that. And then I think I said, well, I may as well go for the 10 the next day. But of course I thought, oh God, you know what? It's double the distance. I can hardly walk now to the track, and my Achilles, I thought, I've got to try it. I do remember doing the warm-up, hobbling around, thinking this is just going to be disastrous. But luckily I did. I made it and it was all right.
Well done. And you got to the Europeans as well that year, so you're doing pretty well now. You got to the Europeans in Munich. Do you remember any memories of that?
Yeah, I felt awful that day.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, that I did. I think that was one of my worst ones, I think. I remember thinking, this is a long way round, 25 laps.
Oh gosh, okay. But you did also, your cross country was still going very, very well. You're very competitive at international level. But then we moved forward to 2004, and you tried out for the trial for the Olympic Games in Athens, and you'd already just missed out in 2000 on the 5,000 meters and getting to the Olympics. But in 2004, you got really close, didn't you, at Watford at the trial there? Yeah. 0.14 seconds.
Yeah, don't. It still gets me that. Yeah, because all the electric timing stopped and everything. So I was kind of thinking, everyone's shouting, you're there, and you're like, okay, I think you don't know, do you? And then you cross the line thinking, and I remember some people said, yeah, you've just done it, you just got it. And then it all sort of went quiet, and then it was down to the hand timing. I think three of them got me under the qualifying time, 3 of them got me over the qualifying time, so it had to go to a photo finish. So I had to wait ages. Well, it seemed like a lifetime to me.
Yeah.
And I remember going in and looking at the photo, and they were like, no, your legs are over the line, but your torso's not. And I'm like, are you joking? Really? That's really mean. But, so that wasn't, obviously, I thought was very fair. But hey, they've got to draw the line somewhere, haven't they? So.
Yeah. Was there something else there? Did somebody else just slightly get in your way around the last lap or anything? I seem to remember some instance.
No, I had. There was a lot of lapping going on. I had to go in lane 3 and all sort, but that was happening quite a lot anyway because you were lapping other runners. So yeah.
Okay. You did try again, didn't you? Did you go? You went into another 10,000 meter race, didn't you, to try and get the qualifying that year?
I think it might have been Edinburgh, and then the weather was just hideous or something. I think it was windy, or the weather just wasn't very good for it.
It's not a distance you can run every week, though, is it? 10,000 meters.
It really isn't. No, not on the track, is it?
No, that's okay. Okay, so, but later that year, you went to the European cross country and you won that one. You won it, and this was a real your biggest win, really, wasn't it? In Heringsdorf in Germany. Great sprint finish, and you weren't really known for being a sprinter, but and Jo Pavey was in the mix that year, wasn't she, as well?
Yeah, she was, and I out-sprinted Jo Pavey.
But you pulled through and you won that one. How much had the upset from not getting to the Olympics fueled you to win the European cross country that year? How much of that was part of your motivation?
Probably quite a lot, to be honest, because I was so disappointed that you just think, right, that's it, I'm giving up, I can't, I don't want to do it. What's the sport all about? And you question what athletics is about, and I felt like I was unfairly unselected or not selected or whatever, all of that, and you feel a bit bitter about it, so yeah, I didn't run for a while, and obviously went to the pub quite a lot in that summer.
Harbour loading then.
Yeah, exactly. And then you actually think, well, actually I still like running, and then you just start to enjoy it again, don't you, rather than putting any pressure on yourself. And I do remember the feeling of that race. I didn't think I was in particularly great shape, to be honest, but I think when everything goes well, you just feel the flow, don't you? And you feel like you're running well. And it was a great team atmosphere. Jo Pavey, Helen, we were just all it was just a lovely experience. And when Jo was there, I thought, right, I've got a sprinter. It's on. I've got to get her. And that was my thing. Yeah, she was third though, wasn't she?
She was third. Yeah. And she'd been, she was obviously a strong athlete on the track as well. I think she'd just come back from she'd had a couple of fifth or fourth place in the Olympics and world champs and the rest, but you beat her at the European cross country. Why is it? Why do you think that some athletes, you're all endurance runners, you can all run on track, road, cross country, but depending on the surface, different athletes have different strengths. What makes a good road runner? Let's take Paula out of the equation, because Paula was, just a level above everyone. Let's just put it out there. Okay, she was. But what makes you better than Jo, let's say, on the cross country, and her better than you on track, and Liz is better on road? Why is there that difference there?
If I knew that, I'd be good at all of them. Wouldn't I? If I knew the answer to that would be brilliant. Do you know what? I don't know. Is it your running style? It could be something like that. I always thought Jo was quite dancey, isn't she, on her feet, on her toes, whereas I'm more of like a bit of a bulldog. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I knew.
Okay. And did you do any specific training on the cross country to suit the cross country?
Yeah, in the winter we used to go to Virginia Waters and Windsor Great Park and do big old hill loops. And stuff like that. I think that was helped me a lot on the cross country. But equally though, I also did track sessions in the winter. Yeah, and mixture of road reps, track, and cross country.
Okay. And with most of your success coming on in cross country, were you lottery funded at that time, or did that not happen for the cross country athletes?
No, it didn't. I was lottery funded for, was it a year? I can't remember. I think it was a couple of years, because I dropped my hours at school because I was a full-time teacher. I think I was lottery funded after 2004 on the development funding. And then you'll probably tell me I'm totally wrong because I don't remember dates or anything. I don't know. I was so then I reduced my hours at school to 4 days a week. And then, was it 3 days or something like that? 3 days a week teaching. Yeah.
Okay. But broadly speaking, you're still working as well, aren't you? You weren't lottery funded all the way through. So
No, I carried on teaching, yeah.
How did you balance? You're a maths teacher, aren't you?
Yeah.
how did you manage to balance all that then?
Just by getting up early. See, I don't like just to do nothing, just running only. I always thought, because what else do you do in the day? Like, you've got all day. It's different now, isn't it? You've got, but back then, you do your morning run, you do your evening session, or your weights, or your strength and conditioning, and then what else do I do in the day? I was like, I could be doing something else. And then I'm the sort of person, if I'm not at work, then my morning run would be like 10, 11. And then and then you don't get the benefit. So I really had to force myself to do a morning session before work. And then, yes, I would then go to work. It was tough, but I had a really, really supportive school at Borlase, in Marlow. The headmaster was just really supportive, and he didn't give me a tutor group, so I could start a bit later. And always honoured the time off that I asked for stuff. So I think I had a really supportive employer.
Okay.
Well,
Marlow, it's a lovely part of the world. That's with lots of GB rowers around there, isn't there?
Yes. Yeah.
Would you cross paths with those guys at all?
No, we didn't. No, but the school that I'm at has produced some really good athletes. Don't ask me their names, because like, that's really embarrassing, isn't it? I should know that.
That's okay. It's okay. But you were going to the World Cross Country a lot throughout these years, and one of the ones that sticks out is that you went to the World Cross Country in Mombasa, Kenya. You did very well. You finished 16th, and the World Cross is still arguably the toughest, endurance race in the world. You can have 6 Kenyans, 6 Ethiopians, and it's talented athletes at 10,000, 5,000 marathon. But you finished 16th, and it was quite an experience, that, wasn't it, going to Kenya?
Oh yeah, it was a brilliant experience. Yeah, and what a race as well. The temperature was just it's so intense, and there was ice baths at the end. Everyone was collapsing. It was so hot. It was just a great experience, that race. Yeah, really enjoyed that.
What do you remember about the crowds there? Was that because it's verging on a national sport in Kenya, isn't it? Athletics.
Yeah, they were all up in the trees. I just remember that, like cheering from the trees. And it was. I think that was the best World Cross I've done there. Yeah, really nice, really good.
Good one. Okay, good. And you continue to go to the European cross country, but also you had another crack at the Olympics, didn't you, for the Beijing Olympics, again at 10,000 meters. But you're just 4 seconds short this time. What do you remember about that?
I don't. 4 seconds. That wasn't the Watford one. I missed it by 0.14 seconds.
No, you went again at for the Beijing Olympics. I think it might have been Watford again. The trial, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't such a. Yeah, it was so well, and I think I ran in Holland and nearly got the time as well that year. I think I was pretty close then. The thing is, though, you set yourself. I think my mistake was I set myself in my head that I had to get 31:45 rather than aiming for 31:30. So and I mean, that sounds obvious now, doesn't it? But back then I was like, no, I've got to get the time and I hit this mark. But of course, every lap I'd go a little bit over those hundredths of a second, and that's where, yeah, I remember having don't laugh, hypnosis to I tried hypnosis once